Hi, it's Amazing Alnita. In case you're wondering where's Nita now, I am actually in the bridge room talking to the most amazing person. I'm going to let him introduce himself. Today we have the honor of speaking with.
Les Kletke. Les, the book coach on the business cards, but my name is Les Kletke.
Oh gosh, what a great name!
And um, we were so poor we couldn't have any silent letters. So you say them all. It's LESKLETKE. That's it.
Wow. All right. So when you say a book coach, what exactly is a book coach?
What I do as a book coach is I help people write their books. I'm not a ghostwriter. I have done that in the past, but I help people write their books. I have worked on just about every aspect of the publishing business,
Okay.
so I bring that expertise and make it easier for you to write your book.
Easier.
Easier. There's no reason that you should learn the entire process if you're only going to write one or two books. It's a lot of background information that you need to have. So why not have someone help you? You don't fix your own car, you don't build your own house, so why do you have to learn all of those things? Get a book coach, make it easier.
Okay, would you say that that is the biggest benefit to having a book coach?
And I think that's the biggest benefit, but it also brings structure to the project,
Okay.
because you might not be aware of where you want to go with this, and having someone from the outside steer you in that direction helps as well.
Okay, so as a ghostwriter, you write the book for them, but as a book coach, you help bring the book out of them?
That's exactly right. And the beginning stages are the same, and that's, if I do bring a skill to the project, it's the interview process.
Okay.
I worked in radio for 17 years, had a news magazine format radio show, so I did a lot of interviews.
Okay.
Okay, and that's the skill that I bring. I help you find the, for lack of a better word, find the guts of the story, and we break it down and get that real nugget out there and develop the chapter around it.
Okay, Les, you know, a lot of people say, I'm going to write a book, then they add those words, someday.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have people that start writing a book and they sit down, and when faced with a blank page, nothing comes out.
You can't edit a blank page.
Okay.
That's my first directive, is get something written down. We can always improve it, we can always work on that, but you can't edit a blank page. Get started, have something on that page. I have a process that I say a book is 50,000 words. That gives you about a 200-page book.
Okay.
So that's a real book. So start with that target of 50,000 words. Now, when I say that, people go, "Oh my gosh, 50,000 words! I can never write that." Well, let's start with a list of 25 items
Okay.
that will become chapters.
Okay.
Anybody can sit down and make a list of 25 important items in their life.
Okay.
Okay? And don't overthink it. I say you should spend roughly 20 minutes doing that.
20 minutes?
20 minutes. If you're spending more than 20 minutes, you're overthinking it, and then you're stroking something out and putting a new one in. You say,
Yeah.
"Oh, that should have been number 18," and then sit down and give me the top 20 items in your life.
Okay.
Those are going to become chapters.
Does that make it easier if these are the top things? Is speed a part of the process? Does that make it more likely that you're actually putting down stuff that's easier for you to write?
Well, think of it this way. If you spend 20 minutes and you have that list, that's in fact your table of contents. Those are all going to become chapters. Now, if you spent 20 minutes writing your book and you've already got the table of contents, don't you think you'd be more encouraged to keep writing?
Yes, actually. Yeah.
Okay, so that's your answer.
All right. So it sounds like you're making book writing easier one interview at a time.
Absolutely, and that's what we do. We do one of those topics every week,
Oh.
and then you send it to me, and I give you feedback at the beginning of the next call on how the chapter went. So you're developing as a writer as we go through this.
Wow.
So now you're going to write 25 chapters, and typically the first 5 chapters are a little rough. You're not familiar with the process, and you're not comfortable with sitting down and writing. So the first 5 chapters need quite a bit of editing.
Okay.
Then by about 7, you're getting more familiar with the process, you're getting better. And after 10, you're familiar with the ISRI process, which is what I call my system. And so then you need very, very little editing. You need the line editing and the grammar and the punctuation.
Okay.
But that's, you're not doing copy editing where you're moving this sentence and that paragraph over here and that one over there. You've got the flow of the story.
What about the people that say, I'm a horrible writer, I can't spell, and I don't know grammar?
Hasn't stopped anybody yet. and a lot of really good writers are not good spellers or very good at grammar. Pierre Burton, who is probably the best known author in Canada, one of our greatest historical writers,
Okay.
he would allow 1/3 of his budget for editors,
Oh.
because he knew that he was a writer who needed a lot of editing, and he had no problem allocating 1/3 of his budget to the editors,
Okay.
because he said he could make more money starting out on another book. And he was a prolific writer. He wrote a lot of books
Okay.
because he didn't spend time rewriting. And I mean, I think the best definition of, or the best example of editing is, I spent the morning and I took out a comma. I spent the afternoon and I put it back. And we all get caught up in that. Should the
Yes.
comma be there? Should the comma not? Go ahead. When people are reading, they're not worried about that.
Huh.
They want the copy. They want the action. They want the words. So spend your time on that. I wrote a lot of newspaper, and that's probably what taught me that lesson the best. Because if you write newspaper, you can spill your guts on one story and think that you're writing the best piece ever. But tomorrow, that's at the bottom of the birdcage.
Yes.
Okay, so think about that. My job is to tell a story, and when you're writing a book, get the story out there.
Okay. That's so. It's okay. If you're a book coach, that implies that you were also a writer.
I was,
Okay. Do you still write?
out of force of habit, yeah, just because that's what I do. I mean, you introduced this show by saying you're on a cruise ship.
Yes.
I keep a journal, and that's just what I do every morning. But I wrote 8 or 9 books at the beginning of this career, and then I became a ghostwriter, and I ghosted another 10, and now I work strictly as a book coach, helping people get their story out.
Do you see how casually he mentioned, I wrote 8 or 9 books and then I ghost wrote another 10 books? It's like, wow. So that's showing you that this system can work for you too. Yes.
We talked about it earlier when we were talking about writing your book.
Yes.
And I said that I've helped 88 people write their books, and typically when I explain the system that I use, people say, wow, that sounds really interesting. But is it going to write, or is it going to work for writing my book? And my answer is, well, it worked for the first 88 people. Give it a try. I don't think you're going to stump me on it.
So what has been your most exciting wins as a book coach?
Probably working with Olympians, simply because I find that fascinating, and they're so good, and they're so easy to work with, and it's not because they're Olympians.
Okay.
They have become Olympians because of their personality. They've worked hard. When they make a decision, they stay with it, and they're used to coaching. If you tell an Olympian, if he buys into the coaching program, and you tell an Olympian to do something, you can count on it.
Okay.
They never miss an appointment.
Oh.
No, and they don't care what happened last night. because all through their life they've had to deal with that, and if they have an appointment for 7:30 Thursday morning, they're there.
It's like cross-applying the skills.
Absolutely.
Okay, so for the people who are a little less disciplined, is there hope for them?
Absolutely. I just finished a book before we got on this cruise with a fellow who he's 82 years old, and he was on the U.S. national hockey team that won the gold medal in in Squaw Valley in 1960.
Oh, wow.
His son was on the team in 1980, the Miracle on Ice movie. Okay, his son was on that, but he was on the 1960 team. I started writing with him last fall, and he wasn't sure that the process would work and that. And this is the only time I've ever had this excuse.
Okay.
I call him for the second interview, and he says, Les, not really ready. Could we change it? And I said, well, yeah. And he says, because my grandson is playing in the World Championships in Europe, and with the time change, I'd like to watch the U.S. hockey game on TV this morning because my grandson is in it. And I said, yeah, we can do that.
Be a little flexible for that.
Yeah, a little flexible for that. And then 2 weeks later, when I called him, and he said, we're going to have to change next week because I'm going golfing. And I said, well, you're going golfing. And he says, well, I've been invited to Lake Placid, which is where we trained and where my son won his gold medal. And I've been invited back to Lake Placid to play golf with my son in a celebrity tournament. And I said, Bill, we can make that work too. So, yeah, there's flexibility. Now, not everybody has an Olympic son or that, but yeah, we have some flexibility.
Okay, so even if you try to show up with a note for the missing homework, there's a way to get around it.
There is so.
Because that's why you're there coaching. They said most people that start writing a book never finish. Most people never start. They just start with the idea of wishing about it.
I'm going to do it someday.
Someday, yes.
I will guarantee you that if you follow this system, you will be done in 6 months. We're going to write a chapter a week, 24 weeks. You've got your book done in 6 months.
Okay, so if you've had a lifetime of dreams of trying to get your book written, here is a gentleman that is saying less procrastination, more book writing. He can help you get there.
We've even got the website, and I spent a lot of money in selecting the name and the marketing for this. My website is called Les the Book Coach. And if you want to send me an email, it's lesthebookcoach@gmail.com.
There you go.
Okay, so there's my marketing plan, and so that even if you lose the card, you can remember that address.
All right, so send any questions that you may have. If you have a book that has been boiling up inside of you, let's help you get it to the surface. Okay, we're actually going to continue this conversation. We're going to have a part 2 because he is agreed to be very generous and to go into details about his process. So I am definitely looking forward to that in our next conversation. But until then, be beautiful, be brave, be brilliant, and dare to write that book. All right, I'm amazing, Alnita.
Most of all, be an author.
Be an author, yes, and don't forget to shine your light, sugar. Bye. Hi, it's Amazing Alnita, and if you enjoyed that video, please subscribe so you can keep up with my journeys, not just here, wherever I go and experience new things, so you can experience them with me. Thank you. Don't forget to shine your light, sugar. Bye.